Commanders head coach Dan Quinn is talking about Jayden Daniels' injury. Let's listen in.
And we completely stopped ourselves. And so I'm furious, obviously, and into that emotion, but it's also hard to have that. You see the entire team, on a knee, circling up on Jayden, and who's on the ground after, his injury. So the update on him is he does have a left elbow injury. I'll update you more once I know more, but that's what I know tonight. But what I can say is I can speak for every coach and player, and just unacceptable performance by us tonight. And told the team, we the one dug the hole, we the ones that dig it out. The solutions are from within, so we missed it by a mile. We missed it out by a mile. Great environment, fans, great setup, like all the way through. And man, we completely missed that chance and that opportunity tonight. So that stings, and we'll get all of it, found out and look through. I'll give you updates on injuries once I know them tomorrow. So glad to start, John. Or Nikki, yep.
Was there any consideration to not having Jayden go in for that series in which he got injured and having Marcus finished out?
Yeah, not at the space. I mean, obviously, like the hindsight, you don't want to think that way where, an injury could take place. Obviously we're more conservative in that spot to, run and hand off and not have reads to go. But just the end result, Nikki, obviously I'm bummed.
Yeah. And given how much of the season is left, what can you do to try to change course here? I mean,
we have to, and that's exactly what I told the team. We've got to do that. And when you miss it like we did tonight, man, it's frustrating, and all the emotions that go with that. I also said we're the same ones that have to dig us out. So we'll look at everything tomorrow and find our ways, but the answers would come from within. And so we've got to be able to do that. But, it was a rough one for us in the locker room. How do we fix? Where do we go? Like, that's what the plan calls for. And coaches, players, everybody.
And going back to the decision to keep him in the game, obviously it's football, things happen. You said hindsight. But because of his style, would there have been any extra thought given to that, and just knowing that he does like to run and maybe leave himself more susceptible?
Yeah, obviously I'm just gutted by it and just bummed. We didn't have any read plays on it, and the one that he was on injured is usually a runner or a throw to the flat. It's not a scramble, so it wasn't a designed read or play into that spot. If we run it 50 times, it's either a handoff or a throw. I'd say 50 times. So it's a bummer, man, in a big way.
Then 2 weeks ago we saw you in Dallas. That was probably as upset you would seem. Tonight you say your fears. How disappointing is it that hasn't translated to what you want to see on the field yet?
Really, it is, John. And just to know that we've, off course and don't have our football aligned like we want, it's frustrating, it's disappointing, it's all those emotions. Like I said, we're going to get to the bottom and dig ourselves out of it. But, it's all those emotions for sure. Like I said, I have all those, but obviously I've got concern with Jayden and some of the other guys that got banged up as well.
Dan, I'm asking this really respectfully. I want you to understand that. But Jayden's been hurt 3 straight times in 3 straight games. Does this organization have to take a different approach with him with regard to keeping him on the field, even if a game's lost, or you think there's a chance, even if you think there's still a chance to win, if it's not capable of giving him the support he needs on the offense and the defensive side for him to be at his best?
Yeah, I think the answer to that is we will give him the support to do that. And I'm certain of that, Dave, to make sure that we do that in every single way. And that's calls, offense, defense, the whole way through, man. I absolutely feel that way on, the hamstring injury, and so tonight with an elbow. It's really important we get that part right, and we will.
As for the game itself, Sam Darnold obviously was able to seemingly do whatever he wanted, especially in the first half. What were they doing that you guys were unable to stop?
Like I said, I give them the credit, but the breakdowns that we had allowed them to have that night are obviously disappointing. It's one thing, a call or, player beat man-to-man, but, to have a couple breakdowns take place for us, that's, when you beat yourself, man, you got no shot at it.
You guys prided yourself last year on culture, and you guys were, good with the veterans to sort of avoid performances like this, beyond injuries, can you point to like what feels different about this year compared to last year? Because obviously it's not just this game.
Yeah, obviously, if I had one, I'd already point to it. I certainly don't think culturally is where I would look. It's a connected team. It's performance related, not culturally related. Guys, like care, working at it, good teammates. So, like, yeah, I think you're barking up the wrong tree on that space, but you're not when we say about the performance. So I understand the question, but this is performance related, and we've got to get it fixed.
Dan, you've talked about harping on those details that have been slipping away, whether it's fundamentals, missed tackles, et cetera. When those things continue to crop up, what do you sort of address that to?
I'll have a better. I didn't say missed tackles. I'll find that out. That could be, but let me dig into that. But any error that's one that offensively or defensively that's not created from like technique, a guy beating you, like we call those mental errors where you're not in the right spot or the right alignment. Those are the things as a coach, man, like you have to eliminate these. And if that means way less, that means way less. In the NFL, you'll get beat on technique of a player, like good guys against good players, like that's normal ball. But what we can't have is things that stop ourselves. And so that's the goal. That's what we'll dig into the hardest to make sure that if there's a repeat, I thought we had some of those going into Kansas City last week in a better way. And so to see those different ones into this take place tonight defensively will be a big deal. I thought offensively to have 2 third down penalties, or 3rd and longs to start was just, man, like you can't dig yourself into a bigger hole.
Hi, Coach. How do you?
All right, you've
after
been
a
listening
loss
to
like
Coach
this,
Dan Quinn after
approach your team?
he called it a rough
Just
one.
in attempt to
This
move
game
forward.
where Jayden Daniels suffered a significant
be
arm
more consistent
injury.
with them.
All he can say at this point is that it's a
They're
left
upset.
elbow injury. They're still assessing and still determining the extent of the damage. But the coach said he's gutted by this, and he said this was an unacceptable performance tonight, but he believes the solutions come from within. You may have heard some questions about why the coach kept Jayden Daniels in the game for as long as he did, given the fact that that game had kind of gotten away from him. And he talked about, why he did that, and obviously wishes he could have made a different decision. Of course, our Chick Hernandez is there with the coach listening to all of this. We will cover this and have the updated information for you at 4:30 a.m.